So you have a Bitrig app. You've sent your app to test flight, and now you want to sell it on the App Store. We're going to walk through the process of taking your Bitrig app and submitting it to App Review. Now, this isn't really a Bitrig tutorial because this process has to be managed in App Store Connect. But if you haven't spent much time with that system, it can feel convoluted. So let's go through those tricksy parts of App Store Connect together. All right, I've talked to my beta testers and I've added a few features, and so now I'm finally ready to go to the App Store with my tarot card reading app. Now, I've done a little bit of legwork to get ready for this, and I'd encourage you to do the same. You have to gather a lot of information about your app, and it's just easier if you have it ready. Let me show you what I've done. If I go here to my Notes app, I have a bunch of text already authored. I have promotional text, a description, keywords, support link and privacy link, my copyright information. We'll walk through all of this once we get to the point of submitting to App Store Connect, but you should get some of this stuff ready before you even get going, just for your own sanity. Now let's dig into screenshots. These can be a little bit tricky. So the first thing that you want to do to get really professional screenshots is to open up QuickTime on your Mac and plug your phone in. That's going to cause the status bar to read 941 and have the battery and Wi-Fi signal at full strength. That's just a little WWDC tip from a former tech evangelist to you. You want to get screenshots from a variety of places around your app. You can have up to 10 and you can have 3 videos. I've already prepared 6 screenshots. The thing that makes this a little bit harder is that the App Store Connect wants specific dimensions for the screenshots you upload. Some iPhones have those dimensions, not all of them do. Mine doesn't. So what I did is I wrote a Bitrig app to resize my screenshots for me. I'm happy to share it in the comments if you want it to. It's really slick. You're going to need to do something a little like this, whether or not you use Bitrig. So I've uploaded my screenshot that I've already prepared. The original size isn't what App Store Connect wants. App Store Connect wants a couple of options. One of them is 1242 by 2688. So I just changed my target size. I save an image, and now I have screenshots that are the appropriate dimensions that Apple wants. All of my screenshots are in an album ready to go. So why don't we hop on over to App Store Connect and really get this going? That add for review button is tempting, but we're going to hold off for now. All right, we're going down to the screenshot section. Choosing file. And I just went into the album where all of my screenshots are. We'll select them all. Okay. There we go. If I want to reorder my screenshots, it's just a matter of dragging and dropping them. I kind of want this hero page right up at the top. And so you can play with that all you want. Let's go and start filling in some of this text that we've already prepared. I'm going to jump around a little bit just to save you the hassle of watching me go to my notes and back, but we'll get this text filled in. The promotional text is something that you can change without having to re-release your app. So if this is your first time submitting, you can just have something nice and introductory. But in the future, if you want to call it a new feature or run an event or really anything, you can upload this whenever you'd like. The description is a little bit more baked in. If you want to change the description, you need to upload a new version of your app. Okay, we have the description uploaded. Now it's time to go to the keywords. This is kind of like your SEO. This is how people might discover your app on the store. Okay, the support URL. You should really have a website for your app. There's a bunch of reasons for this, and this is really only one of them. I have my superbetsy.com website that I'll be using. If you run into this, Apple really wants the HTTPS. There we go. All right, you don't need to have a marketing URL. If you want one, go ahead and throw one in there, but I'm not going to add that. Now for the version number, I'm just going to stick to 1.0. But towards the end of the video, I'm going to come back to show you how you can change that in Bitrig so that you can iterate version over version. Copyright? Bear with me. It's just the year and your name or your company. Now this routing app coverage file. That's only for transit apps. So if your app gives point-to-point directions, you're going to have to think about this. If it doesn't, you don't need to worry. I don't have an app clip. I don't have an iMessage app. Now we're down here to app review information. If you have a sign-in page in your app, you're going to need to worry about this. You're not going to have that. So I just uncheck sign-in required. I'm going to enter in my contact information. And now you have the opportunity to enter any notes for the reviewer. You really don't need anything, especially as you're just getting started, but as you iterate, you might need to tell them what's going on, or if you added a login, just point them to that. This is really just free form because the reviewer is, at the end of the day, a human person who just wants to get your app on the store. I just scroll down a little bit, and now I get to think about what I want to have happen after my app is accepted by App Review. Do I want to automatically release it the minute they say go, or do I want to have a little bit more control over that? I'm just going to let them automatically release it because I want it out as soon as possible. But if you have some marketing planned or you have some strategy around when you're going to be releasing your app, you can change that. Before we go any further, I'm going to scroll all the way back up to the top and hit save. Okay. Now there's a couple more things that I want to take you through before we hit that big blue tempting button. We're going to tap on iOS app version 1.0. We're going to scroll down until we see app privacy. Apple takes privacy really seriously, and so should you. Happily, Bitrig has all the privacy controls you need built right in, but you might need to make some changes if you pulled your project out and made some modifications in Xcode. I'm just going to enter in a privacy policy URL. This is something you can spin up on your app's web page, and there's resources available to kind of help you through what you need there. And save. Now we're going to hit the Get Started button down here. This is where we're going to tell Apple what information our app does or does not collect. Now, because you wrote this with Bitrig, this is going to be really easy for you. But again, if you've made any modifications in Xcode or elsewhere, you're going to need to think about this. No, we do not collect data from this app. It's as easy as that. One more stop, and this is the fun one. I'm going to tap on the app privacy to bring back that menu of items and go to app information. Now from here, I can change the name. You want to make sure that your name reflects what Bitrig thinks the name is, or else you might run into some problems with App Review. If I want a subtitle, I can include it. I'll call it something like Learn to Read Tarot. And now you can verify all of this information that Bitrig has already provided on your behalf. You're going to need to set a category. I'm going to set this as reference. Now we're going to set up our age ratings. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch while I go through this entire form because it's actually pretty lengthy, but you'll just read the description of each of these controls and choose whether or not your app does it. I finished filling out the form and now I have age ratings generated for me per locale. You can scroll all the way to the bottom and there's nothing else you're going to need to do here, so why don't we go back up and hit save. Now we get to set up our pricing. We're going to go to the app information chevron, scroll down until I see pricing and availability. We're going to add price. I'm based in the United States, so we're going to keep this USD, and I'm going to choose the price as 99 cents. Hit next. If you want to make some alterations based on locale, you can do that here. Otherwise, you just hit next and confirm. Now, if you want to change where your app is available, you set up at availability. I'm just going to make it available everywhere, so all countries and regions. Hit next. I'm going to confirm. I'm not going to set up pre-orders, and if I wanted to manage availability, I could do that here. We're just going to go back. Now, a cool newish feature is that iPhone apps can run on Apple Silicon Macs. You can opt out of that if you don't want that, but I think that's cool as heck. So I'm going to keep this make this app available option checked. Now I'm going to uncheck the Vision Pro availability because I haven't done any work to enable a great experience there. And under app distribution methods, I'm going to make it public because I want everybody to find my app. You can offer a reduced price for the Apple School Manager. That's if somebody in the education space wanted to buy a bunch for their students. I'm just going to uncheck that for now. And you can scroll down to this last compatible version setting. This is for if somebody has not updated their iOS version, this will allow them to download the last version that you made compatible for them. Now we finally get to submit for review. I'm going to tap pricing and availability just to get back to this menu and tap that 1.0 prepare for submission. Now we're finally ready to hit that add for review button. Anything I missed, which I am certain I missed a bunch of stuff because that's just reality of it, will show up here and it'll tell me how to fix what I need to fix before I actually go to review. So let's tap the delightful button. Okay, that's very expected. Let's just go ahead and fix all the things that it wants me to resolve. So I must choose a build. Oh yeah, we should probably let the App Store know what build we want. It's easy to forget because Bitrig does all of that for you. I need to provide additional information about privacy practices, and I need to set up content rights in app information. Well, let's just knock these off one at a time. We're going to go back to app information. Set up content rights information. We missed that. So I need to tell Apple whether or not I'm showing third-party content that I might not have the rights to, say intellectual property, that kind of thing. I'm not, so I'm just going to say no, does not contain third-party content. Away we go. I'm going to hit save before I forget. Now let's go back here. We needed to check something in the privacy space. Oh, I need to hit that blue publish button. Yep. Okay, last one, fun one. I'm going to tap on app privacy. I'm going to go back to that prepare for submission, and we'll scroll down until I see all the builds. I'm going to add a build, which Bitrig has already provided for us. We'll hit done. I'm going to scroll back up to the top, save. And now let's try adding this to review one more time. Yay! We made it! Now comes the agonizing part of just waiting. But I'm going to show you one trick that you're probably going to need to use. Let's go back to this app in Bitrig. All right, we're back in Bitrig. I'm going to show you how to add a version to your app so that you can easily release updates to your users in the App Store. We're going to go to Distribute App. Here we have all of this information that's pretty familiar at this point. But right there in the middle, version, it says 1.0. I'm going to tap on it. I'm going to create a new version number. I can enter in something custom if I want, but if I'm just making bug fixes, it's pretty traditional to just use 1.0.1. Now I'm going to publish a test flight again. And now we have version 1.0.1 in App Store Connect ready for me to release to app review whenever I would like to. Thanks for walking through the process of going to app review with me. Most apps aren't going to get approved the first time. It's just the reality of what it is. So don't be frustrated if you get a rejection back. The people who are reviewing apps are actual real humans. And so you can just write a note back to them, ask for clarification if you're not sure what to do, and you'll get it through. Go to bitrig.com for all the ways you can contact us. Best of luck getting through app review. Bye.